Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. And the question today is, what is the best pocket tool for everyday carry, or EDC? And there are a lot of different philosophies on this, and what I've done is I've carried a bunch of these, actually each one of them just a little bit to see, some more than others, because it was obvious whether or not it had use. But what I want to do is address why I chose one over all of the others, and why I recommend that as a general EDC tool. Now, all of the tools listed or shown here have a good EDC value, some more than others. Now, first of all, with EDC, there tends to be a couple of kind of general criteria that make it more EDC compared to other tools, you know, a larger wrench or something. Now, the absolute largest thing probably considered EDC would be a Leatherman or some multi-tool, but this is way bigger than what I'm talking about. A few of the traits of EDC tools tend to be that they are fairly smooth, streamlined. Sometimes we call them melted features. They tend to slide in and out of a pocket without any trouble. Very useful. Now, a pocket knife and a flashlight to me are classic EDCs. And I always have a knife with me, and anytime I think that there's a chance I may end up needing a flashlight, one of those is with me. So then this would supplement that. Now, this to me, I carried this for, man, I don't know, 20 years probably. Look at that. This is the unofficial Olympic boot of 1988. That's when I got this. I used to ski race, and we'd always get little perks. But what this is an actual Swiss Army Victorinox Swiss Army tool, because Reichli was a ski boot brand from Switzerland, and I love this thing, and it did great. I moved up to this one probably in the 90s. I liked it. This is an orange peeler that actually came in really handy. Good solid knife. Then, you know, I started moving to more specific tools. This is my latest favorite small EDC carry. But there are some others, like this guy here has got a rubber coating. And that can be desirable in some cases, especially, you know, if you're using it and your hands are wet or slippery or covered, you know, gutting a fish and they're covered in blood or something. But generally, EDC tools, we don't like a grippy surface. And that's because most of the time they're riding around in our pocket, they're sliding in and out. We want a smooth tool. Other popular EDC tools, pens. A lot of people carry a pen. Notice it's got nice smooth melted features, so it easily slides in and out of your pocket. So let's take a look at some of these tools. Lightweight, that comes with being small. I'm going to eliminate wrenches right away, unless your I don't know, your daily use of a tool pretty much is always a wrench. That's going to be too limited in my book. Even adjustable wrenches, this is a fun one, but and a great one to play around with. A little heavy, but not quite an EDC. So that narrows it down to stuff like this. Some of the utility knives are really going after that EDC size, smooth, designed to slide in and out of a pocket, or in this case, a money clip. A lot of people carry small screwdrivers. That works as well. But I'm going to talk about these guys right in here. This one is very useful, and for most of us, we grew up using adjustable wrenches, so we can do an awful lot with them. But I think that's a little on the limiting side. Mainly, it's a tool for doing what it's designed for. What I'm looking at is what all can we do with a tool, besides just the stuff that it was made for. Vice grips, a lot of people think these are very handy in the small size. I could see that. You know, obviously the tool side, but, you know, maybe you need to clamp an artery. You don't have a tourniquet handy, so, you know, reach in and use this instead of a hemostat. Probably not the best, but it's going to work better than these unless you know, wrap a rubber band around the handle. This might be the best one for it, to mimic a hemostat. But for other things, you know, basically I narrowed it to these. This was my go-to for quite a while till I got more into the Knipex. This is a great general tool. It does have really grippy handles. Now that's what you want with a tool, but not necessarily with an EDC tool. So the grippy handles, Knipex, this one also, this is most grippy, this is medium. And then for a vinyl dipped handle, this is pretty smooth, so I would say this doesn't even count as really a grippy handle in our EDC concern. It slides in and out of the pocket just fine. Now, these two are fairly large. These two are small. I've got a plier. This is the plier wrench. This is standard Cobra, plier wrench Cobra. This snap-on, it's great. It's a little big now compared to the others, and it's a little bit limiting, believe it or not, even though it does have a fairly large mouth there. You can see. So it's really handy if I thought that was kind of the direction I was going to go. Otherwise, I've narrowed it down to these. Now, the problem here is this is a smooth parallel jaw, so it works really well, very similar to this. Smooth parallel jaws, does what it's supposed to beautifully, but it doesn't do a lot of other things. So I can't grip stuff. Imagine I'm trying to grip a wooden dowel or some other material that's not, you know, a flat-sided bolt or nut. So this does have some limitations. And it's got another advantage, though, that I will show you. When I compare these two, this is a little grippy. I mentioned that. It's a little bigger. What's my benefit? I'm going to get about a 33% longer handle, which translates pretty much into a 33% greater amount of force that I could apply if I, you know, move out to the edges here. But do I really need that? In other words, does this have enough of a handle for the kind of work that it'll be doing? I think so. Notice this. There is a huge difference in thickness of the fighting end of this, the business end. I like the thinner end. Now, this is great for really gripping bolts, but this is great when you move away from just grabbing bolts to other things, like operating like tweezers. And to test that, you know, I might put it up against something like this. This is a kind of a hard paper. It comes with the Milwaukee packouts. So I'm going to just barely bite that, hold down here, and yank. And then inspect what it did. It made a fairly clean cut there. What about this guy? Nice. That one worked well. Plier wrenches, they also, let's move over here. Got to make sure I've got it in the smallest setting. You can see that. Other things, like if I compare it to these snap-ons, not bad. Let's try one here. Maybe you'll see a little bit better. That is really gripping it strong. Little uneven on that one. Vice grips, uneven. Can't really do it with those. So this one has a lot of use for really small, precise tasks. So I can do quite a bit with this thing that I would consider EDC tasks. If I needed to get to hold something very precise, to dig a sliver out, to work with fabrics, things like that, I can actually do that with this. The wide opening, this one does go wider, but that's generally not where I'm expecting to use this tool. So yes, it does go wider, but that's maybe the couple percent. If this is not going to open up a fire hose or a fire hydrant, you know, it's, I don't know, maybe I should go try it. I just don't think I've got the strength here and the size. So I didn't really lose that there. I don't think I can operate any large plumbing devices with this thing, but I will probably have it in my pocket because it's lighter, it's smaller, it's smoother, it blends in. I tend to carry it in this direction, face down, sliding forward. This tends to work fairly well. You can hold it almost any way in your pocket. It doesn't seem to have an orientation. Other things kind of need an orientation. And the other thing I found is I was much faster to use this just simply because of the way it was designed. This even though it's as simple as a button, that requires a little bit more dexterity. And sometimes when you're using these things for other things, other jobs, you know, like whatever it is, it's just so much easier to use this arrangement. So that makes it a lot faster, which means you're more likely to grab it and pull it out of your pocket and use it. This one is great. I think it's too limited. It's definitely a small toolkit winner, so you want to keep that. So if I had to order these guys, it's probably what you're waiting for. This is my first. Number one, I think that's a great EDC plier. The next up would be this one. The next would probably be this, followed by this. And why this guy? Because a lot of times you're not really planning on using your EDC plier for a whole lot, or you've got a couple of jobs, so just having something. This does work with slivers, it does work with fabric. I mean, a lot of the basic stuff that this guy does, except it doesn't hold on to like nut or bolt surfaces very well. There is a lot of leverage there, you know, so you can do stuff. And then this one, this is kind of more traditional. That would be my next one. You can see it's a little smaller when it's in its slipped joint. That, again, would be one more thing to work with. It's just not as handy. A lot of times we want, just like our knife, you know, that you do the stuff and then you put it away and you move on. Flashlight, turn it on, turn it off, put it away. You know, this, you pull it out, you know, grab stuff, do whatever, you know, you need to manipulate, put it away. But if you start having to manipulate it a little bit more, yeah, this is also not the most useful front end. This guy, no, I wouldn't carry this as an EDC tool. This is definitely a small toolkit tool, but for an EDC, unless there's some specific thing you keep encountering, some specific task, it's more cute than functional as EDC. Same with this, even less so. This has even fewer jobs that it can do. It's just small and cute. Little screwdrivers, they're great, but you know, that is really, you know, other than maybe some sort of a, you know, a striking implement, this isn't anything beyond a screwdriver. Utility knives are great, but I'd rather have a good, fully functional, nice, easy to deploy pocket knife. So anyway, that's what I discovered as I was carrying these around, trying them on different things. That this guy right here is my favorite, and I think most, as far as pocket carry EDC, the most usable tool of the bunch. And with that, Doc out.